So these are the main important components in the Java language that we should understand very clearly. And after that, we discussed some basic rules that should be followed while writing any Java program. So what are those rules? Java is a case-sensitive language, and the Java class, every Java program will be written as classes, Java classes. So every class name should begin with capital letter, and inside the class we can define variables and methods. Okay, so every method name should start with lowercase letter. And another important rule, we will be writing Java program as a Java class, and the Java class contains some set of variables and methods, and we can save that Java class. We have to save that Java class in one Java file, .java file. Got it? So the rule is here that Java file name should be same as class name, Java class name. The Java class name and the Java file name should be same. That is an important rule. And another thing, the Java class should contain one important method that is called main method. In the Java class, we should define one method called main method. So the main method syntax should be this one: public static void main, and it should we should pass one argument to that main method, that is a string array, that is the input. Okay, so this main method is very important. What is this main method? Is all about when you run a Java class or Java program, the execution will be started from the main method. If there is no main method defined in the Java class or in the Java program, that Java program cannot be executed without main method. Understand what is the main method? Okay, and some other rules. Inside one Java file, we can define only one package statement. What is that package statement is? See, now we are defining Java class, and the Java class we are saving in one Java file. So in the same Java file, we can write multiple Java classes. We can define multiple Java classes, and we can group all these Java classes as one package. So package is nothing but collection of classes, collection of Java classes. So in one Java file, we have to define that package name at the beginning of the Java file. We have to define that package name at the top of the Java file. So by using package statement. So any Java file can contain only one package statement. And after package statement, we can write import statements inside Java file. What is this import statements? Suppose I am writing one Java program. In this Java program, I want to create an object for another class, which is defined in another Java file or in another package. So if you want to create an object for another class, then we have to import that class first. Only then we can create an object for that class, and we can access that class methods and variables in the current Java file. So to access other class methods or variables, we should have to import that class first. How we can import the class? By using import statement. So in any Java file, the first statement should be package statement. There we define the package name by using package statement. After package statement, we can write a number of import statements. What is the use of import statement? To import other classes, to access other class methods and variables, we have to import classes by using import statement. So in one Java file, we can have multiple import statements, and in one Java file, there should be only one public class. See, in one Java file, we can define multiple classes, but only one class can be defined as a public class. Understand? All other classes can be default classes. With the default scope, we can define the classes. But with public scope, there can be only one class can be defined in any Java file. Are you clear? These are some important rules that we should have to keep in mind at the time of writing Java program. And after that, we discussed about identifier. What is identifier? Identifier means, is it visible clearly, Govind? Letters size. Hello? Hello, Govind? Raja? Hello? Raja?
Hello.
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma.
Are you able to see the screen? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. This guy Govind went offline, I guess. What happened to this guy? Yeah. See, after that we discussed about data types, different types of datas. Okay, let us continue. See, we discussed about data types, different types of data types in Java. So there are some important 9 primitive data types in Java. The first one is byte, short, integer, long. These 4 data types are integer data types: byte, short, integer, long. Byte is 8 bits, short is 16 bit, integer is 32 bit, and long is 64 bit. And single, double, these 2 data types are floating point data types, and boolean, character, and reference data type. So these are the 9 types of primitive data types are available in Java. And after that, we have seen how to declare variables. Variables declaration can be defined like this. Okay, data type space with the variable names separated by commas. And similarly, constants, we will see that later how to define constants. Constants generally will be defined by using final keyword and static keyword. For every constant, if you declare any variable by using these 2 keywords, final, static, then it is a constant. Okay. And comments, how to define a comment, how to create a comment in Java using double slash or slash with asterisk star. And star, this double slash is used to comment a single line, and slash star will be used to comment a block of statements. Okay. And After that, we discussed about data type conversions. So in Java program, sometimes the variables data type will be automatically changed during the Java program execution. How a data type conversion will occur? There are different types of data type conversions may occur in the Java program. The first one is automatic data conversion. What is this automatic data conversion and when it will happen? Automatic data conversion will take place if the following two conditions are met. These are the two conditions. When these two conditions are satisfied, then automatically data conversion will occur in the Java program. What are those two conditions? First condition is the two variables data type should be compatible. If there are two variables, that means if you are assigning one variable to another variable, then both the variables should be compatible. Compatible means both the variables should be integer type or floating type or character type, like that, similar data type. Both the variables should belongs to similar data type. That is the first condition. Second condition, the destination type is larger than the source type. That means if I am assigning a statement x is equal to y, here x is a destination variable, y is a source variable. So in this statement, x is equal to y statement, if x is a larger data type and y is smaller data type in size, then this automatic data conversion will happen. That means that y variable will be automatically converted into x variable data type. Understand? That is called automatic conversion. And another type of conversion is narrowing conversion, or we call it as casting. What is this narrowing conversion? Suppose if the destination variable data type is not larger, if the destination data type is smaller than the source data type, then automatic conversion will not occur, will not happen. In this scenario, automatic conversion is not possible and we should use narrowing conversion. That means when you are assigning larger data type value to smaller data type variable, in that scenario we can use this narrowing conversion option. How it works? This is the target variable and this is the source variable, and before the source variable you should define the target variable data type within the parenthesis. This is the casting syntax. How to define a narrowing conversion or casting in Java. It is a target variable, this is the source variable, and before the source variable we should define a target variable data type within the parenthesis. Okay, this is called narrowing conversion. And next one is automatic data type promotion. Automatic data type promotion. How it will happen? See, if there is any arithmetic expression in the Java program and that arithmetic expression contains some 2-3 variables of different data types, and one variable is short, one variable is byte, one variable is for example long data types. So like that, there are 3 different variables with the 3 different data types in one arithmetic expression. While running that arithmetic expression, what Java will do, within that arithmetic expression, which variable is the largest data type? So to that data type, all other variables will be converted automatically. So this is called automatic data type promotion. Are you getting my point? While running the arithmetic expression in the Java program, and within that arithmetic expression there can be multiple variables. Among those variables, which variable has the largest data type? To that data type, all other variables will be converted automatically. It is called automatic data type promotion. See example. First byte and short values are promoted to integer. If there is any byte variables and short variables and integer variable in the arithmetic expression, automatically all byte and short variables will be converted into integer. Again, suppose if there is any long variable within the among the variables, then all variables will be converted into long. If there is a float variable among the variables, then automatically all other variables will be converted into float. If there is any double type variable in the arithmetic expression, then automatically all other variables will be converted into double. Like that, all variables will be converted into the largest data type automatically within the arithmetic expression. That is called automatic data
Sir,
type promotion.
sir,
Yes, Govind.
sir,
Govind, tell
sir,
me.
operand, what is that operand? Operand means what, sir? Operand.
Operand means, see, for example,
Operator.
I have a expression. I have arithmetic
Mm-hmm.
expression C equal to A plus B.
Okay.
Within this expression, uh, C, A, B are operands.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Generally, we will call it as variables, right? So we can the another name is also operand, sir, for that
Yeah,
variable.
variables only. That is called operands. Within the expression, those variables we are calling as operand. Clear? Okay. And after that, we discussed about operators. Different types of operators we discussed: arithmetic, bitwise, relational, boolean. And after that, we discussed about different types of control statements: conditional statements, if condition, if else condition statement, and if else if statement. Okay. And next, nested if statement and a switch statement. What is the syntax of a switch statement? And iteration statements, iterations, while loop, loop statements, loops, loops. Okay. While loop syntax and do while loop. Okay. For loop. Okay. Yeah, just a minute, ma. Just I'm getting one call. Yeah. Okay. Now, after loop statements, we discussed about jump statements. Jump statements means break, continue. These two are unwritten. These three statements are called jump statements. The break statement will stop that loop execution, and continue statement will stop the current loop iteration and continues next iteration of the loop. That is the difference between break and continue. And return statement will return the control from the method. Inside the method, we will use this return statement to return the control from any method. We use this return statement. And then we discussed about arrays, one-dimensional arrays, how to declare one-dimensional array and multi-dimensional arrays. Okay. And then we discussed about class, what is a class, and what is the instance variables. Class is nothing but it is a template, or it is a collection of variables and methods. Collection is nothing but, class is nothing but a collection of variables and methods. Okay. And what is the object? Object is an instance of class. Instance variables. What is the instance variables? The variables declared or defined within a class, but outside of all the methods, are called instance variables. And every instance variable, each instance of the class, that means for one class we can define multiple objects. That object is nothing but instance of a class. So each instance of a class, that means object, for each object, instance variables will be created. Instance variables will be created for every instance of class. That means for each object for that class, instance variables will be created for every object. Suppose if I create two objects for one particular class, object 1 will be having one set of instance variables, object 2 will be having another set of same instance variables. So you can assign one value to object 1 instance variable, I can assign another value to object 2 instance variables. Are you clear? That is called instance variables. Members means class members. What is the members of the class? Instance variables and methods are called members of the class. And what is a method? Method means nothing but any function defined inside the class to perform a particular operation. That is called method. How we define method?
The members are discussed, sir. Members.
Yeah, members are nothing but variables and methods inside the class.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Members are nothing but variables and methods are called members of the class.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And what is a method? How to define the method? What is the syntax? Okay. And generally, in methods will be defined using type. Type is very important. What is this type? What type of data this method returns? That is a type. And method name and parameters, method parameters. And inside that method, we can use return statement to return the value from that method. We can use return statement inside the method. Are you clear? And the method type can be void. If the method type is void, what does that means? That method does not return any value. Are you clear? And after that, we discussed about constructor. What is a constructor? The constructor means nothing but it is a method which will be executed automatically at the time of creating an object. When we create an object, automatically this constructor method will be executed by Java runtime. That means the constructor means it is a method which will be executed by default at the time of creating an object. So how this constructor method will be defined? The constructor method name should be same as class name. The constructor method's name should be same as the class name. And we can pass some parameters. And we should not define any type for constructor method. For normal methods, type should be defined like this. type should be defined for normal methods. But for constructor method, we don't define any type, any data type. Understand? These are the two rules we have to remember. To define a constructor, the constructor name should be same as a class name, and another one, the constructor method, no type will be defined for constructor method. And when this constructor method will be executed at the time of creating an object. Okay. And the next one, object reference variable. What is this object reference variable? See, for example, box is a class. For example, we define one box class. And for this box class, we are creating an object. How we are creating an object? By using new keyword. Using new keyword, we are creating box object. And thus this box new object is assigned to b1 variable. Okay. So here b1 is a variable of which type? b1 is a box class type variable. And similarly, b2 is another variable of type box class. Now we can assign b1 also box type, b2 also box type. So we can assign b1 to b2 or b2 to b1. It is possible now because both are same type. So here b1, b2 are object reference variables. Are you clear? What is object reference variable means? Nothing but a variable of class type. Yeah. And then we discussed about types of variables in Java. What are the different types of variables in Java? There are different types of variables. The first one is local variable. What is a local variable? Variables defined inside some block. Block means which begins and ends with cursive brackets. That is called block. That block can be defined anywhere inside the method or inside the class. Anywhere we can define a block. If you declare any variable inside a block or inside a constructor or inside a method, that is called local variable. Local variables can be accessible only within the block or within the method, wherever it is defined. And to these local variables, default value cannot be assigned. No default value will be assigned to local variables. And to these local variables, we cannot define access modifiers like public, private. These are called access modifiers. These access modifiers cannot be defined for local variables. These are the important points about local variables. And next one, instance variable or non-static variable. Instance variables will be defined outside of the methods or constructor or blocks, but inside the class. Within the class, instance variables will be defined within the class but outside of methods or blocks. And these instance variables will be created at the time of creating an object. And a new copy of instance variables will be created for each object. And these instance variables will be destroyed whenever object is destroyed. And to these instance variables, we can define access modifiers like public, private. Access modifiers can be defined with instance variables. And these instance variables has default values. If you don't assign any value, automatically some default value will be assigned to this instance variables. Clear? And next one, static variables or class variables. What is a static variable? The static variables are nothing but instance variables, but the static variables will be defined using static keyword. Static keyword will be added to static variables. These static variables will be defined inside the class but outside of all the methods, similar to instance variables. Similar to instance variables. Okay, and these static variables is little different from instance variables. How it is different from instance variables? Instance variables will be created for every object. If I create 5 objects, 5 copies of instance variables will be created. But static variables are not like that. The static variable will not be created for each object. The static variable will be defined only once, and the same static variable will be shared by all object instances. For each object instance, it won't create a new copy of static variable. Instead of that, the same static variables will be shared by all object instances. But in instance variables, for every object instance, a new copy of instance variable will be created. But static variable will not be created a new copy for every object instance. Instead of that, the same static variable will be shared by all object instances. And another important difference is the static variable can be accessed before creating an object, but instance variable cannot be accessed before creating an object. Instance variables can be accessed only through objects. Without creating an object, we can't access instance variable, but static variable can be accessed before creating an object by using its class name. Say like this: class name dot variable name. Like this, we can access static variable. Okay, that is important point about static variables. Are you clear? Different types of variables what we discussed: local variables, instance variables, and static variables. And what is the difference between instance variables and static variables? And what is this this keyword? What is the this keyword? The this keyword is used inside any method to refer the current object which is invoking the current method. Which object invokes this method? To refer that object, we can use this keyword. We can use this keyword to refer the current object which invokes the current method. Are you clear? That means this keyword refers the current object. Okay. And next thing we discussed about hiding instance variables. What is this one? See, for example, I have declared one instance variable x inside the class, and inside
Sir,
that same class.
Sir, one
Yes,
question, sir.
Govin?
This have you discussed before, sir?
Yeah.
This
Yeah, this is
don't think
nothing
so,
but
sir.
just it refers the current object.
Mm-hmm.
I will see. I will show you that one. How where we can use it. You can understand here.
Mm-hmm.
Hiding instance variable. See, for example, I have a one class. Okay. Inside the class, for example, class one. Okay. Inside class one, I have instance variable. Okay. Integer x. Inside this class, I have method one. Method one. Okay. Inside this method, I am passing. I am declaring one more variable integer x. Are you clear? Here x is a instance variable and here x is local variable. Correct? This x is instance variable. Understand? This x is local variable. Now inside this method, if I write, see that for example, I'm declaring two more variables x, y, z, and here I'm writing y equal to x plus z, for example. Which value this x will take? Either this value or this value. Instance variable or it is local variable, this x. Which variable it is? Either local variable or instance variable in the statement y equal to x plus z statement. Which variable it refers? It represents. Hmm? Which variable it represents? Govind, Bala, Raja. What is this variable? X here in this statement.
Static.
It is local variable. Correct?
Local.
See here, that is what. See, even if you have any instance variable and if you define any local variable with the same name as an instance variable, then the preference will be given to local variable. That means this local variable will hide this instance variable inside this method. So now here this x is not an instance variable inside this method. This x is local variable. That is this concept, hiding instance variable. When instance variable will be hidden? If you define a local variable with the same name as instance variable, then that local variable will hide the instance variable. So now inside this method one, I want to access this instance variable value. Understand? Suppose is z equal to, I want to add y plus instance variable x. See, in this statement, I want to use local variable. And here in the statement, I want to use instance variable value. How to access instance variable x? X means it will take local variable because the local variable will hide the instance variable and the local variable will be given the high priority. So by default, this x represents local variable. But in this statement, I want to use the instance variable x value, not local variable x value. Then how to access here the instance variable x? Now you can write here this dot x. Understand? See, this dot x means this represents here object, current object. So for this current object, we are getting instance variable. From this current object, get the instance variable value. So this statement will return the current object instance variable x value. That means it returns this x value, not the local variable x. Understand? So like this, we can use this variable. Are you clear, Govind, here? Yeah. Okay. So this is what hiding instance variables. And next, garbage collection. What is the garbage collection? In Java, suppose here if I create one object variable in the Java program, okay, and after that you can write kill that object. We can destroy that object. That means we are not going to use that object anymore. So if you are not using that object, then what we should do? We should have to release that object memory. Otherwise, unnecessarily still that object will occupy memory space in the RAM during the program execution. So it is very important to release the memory for all the variables which are not in use while running the program. How this will happen? So the mechanism which will do this process, that means releasing of memory for all unused variables in the Java program execution, that this mechanism is called garbage collection. That means automatically it will happen. It is an automatic process in the Java program. In the Java program, automatically the garbage collector will be keep monitoring which variables are not used anymore. So if it finds any variable which is not in use, then automatically it will release that variable memory. This mechanism is called garbage collection. So we are nothing to write any code for that. It will automatically happen in the Java. Understand? That is called garbage collection. And see, what is this finalize method? See, what is a constructor method? The constructor method will be executed at the time of creating an object automatically by Java, right? That means if you want to do some initialization of variables, or if you want to do some actions at the time of creating an object, those things can be defined inside the constructor, because the constructor method will be executed at the time of creating an object. Now similarly, if you want to do some actions, or if you want to do something, if you want to execute some steps at the time of destroying the object, at the time of creating the object, if you want to execute, what we can define? Constructor can be defined. At the time of destroying the object, if you want to execute something, then that can be defined inside finalize method. Inside finalize method. Inside the finalize method, we can define some steps, whatever you want to execute at the time of destroying the object. So this finalize method will be called automatically at the time of destroying the object. Are you clear? And next thing we discussed about overloading methods. What is this overloading methods? Overloading methods means nothing but we can define multiple methods with the same name and with different parameters, or with different parameter data types. Understand? We can define multiple methods with the same name and with a different number of parameters, or with different data types of parameters. That means we can define one operation in multiple ways. That is called overloading. Understand? And similarly, we can constructor also a method. So constructors also can be overloaded. That means we can define multiple constructors in one class. It is possible with a different number of parameters. Understand? Constructors also can be overloaded. And also we can also pass objects as parameter to methods. We can pass normal variables as parameters to methods. Similarly, we can pass objects also to parameters. Okay, and how to pass the data to parameters? data passing methods in Java. In Java, there are two data passing methods. The first one is call by value and second one call by reference. See, call by value will be used by default when you are passing a variable as a parameter, and call by reference will be used by default when we are passing an object as a parameter. It will be using call by reference. What is this call by value? Call by value means nothing but the value of actual variable will be copied into parameter variable, and call by reference means the address of the actual variable will be assigned to a parameter variable. Instead of value, address will be copied in the call by reference. In the call by value, value will be copied. In the call by reference, the address of that variable will be copied. That is the difference. Okay. And next one.
Call
Yeah.
by value, call by reference. Examples.
Yeah. I will show you, ma. We already have that examples. Okay. I will
Okay,
show
sir.
you, Govind.
Okay.
So the next one is a recursion. What is a recursion is, I will show you, Govind, that examples. Okay, let us complete all the topics what we covered so far. Then we'll go to the programs. Okay, and a recursion. We discussed a recursion. What is a recursion? In Java, recursive programming is possible. Recursive programming means nothing but a method which calls itself. A method which will call itself again and again. That is called recursive method. So we can define recursive methods in Java. That also we have defined one recursive example. I will show you that also. And next, come to here. What are all the access modifiers are available in Java? Access modifiers means default, private, protected, and public. These are the four different access modifiers are available. Default access modifier means we don't define any keyword. We'll be leaving blank. Then we should assume that it is a default access modifier. For example, if you define a class without any public, private, or protected anything, then we assume that that class is default access modifier. That means if you define any class with a default access modifier, that class can be accessible by default within that package, but not in other packages. Okay. And what is a private access modifier? The private access modifier can be used for methods, variables, and constructors. Okay, but not to classes, I guess. See, but not to the classes. Private cannot be defined for classes. The private access modifier cannot be defined with classes and interfaces. It should be defined only with methods, variables. That's all. Not with classes and interfaces. Are you clear? What is this private means? If you declare any variable or any method as a private, that method or variable can be accessible only within that class. It cannot be accessed outside of that class. That is called private. Okay, and protected. What is the protected? The protected also cannot be used with class and interface. The protected also can be defined only for methods and variables. If you declare any method or variable inside the class as protected, these protected methods and variables can be accessed within that package by any class, and these protected methods and variables can be accessed in other packages but inside only the subclasses of this class. Are you clear? The protected variables and methods can be accessible within that package by any class, and these protected variables and methods can also be accessed in other packages but inside only subclasses. What is a subclass? We will be discussing that in today's session. Okay. And what is a public? Public means public can be defined as a for classes or methods or variables or for interfaces. Also we can define public. Public means that class or method or variable can be accessed from anywhere, from any package or from any class. From anywhere we can access that. That is called public. Are you clear? These four keywords, default, private, protected and public, are called access modifiers. That means these four keywords will define where that particular class or method or variable is available or is accessible. That will be defined by using these keywords. Where that particular class or particular method or variable can be accessible in the Java program will be defined by using these keywords. So that's why these keywords are called access modifiers. And there are another three keywords which are called non-access modifiers. That means these keywords won't define where that particular class, method or variable can be accessible, but instead of that it will define some constraints on that method or class or variable by using these keywords. So these keywords are called non-access modifiers. The first one is final. What is a final? This final can be used with classes, methods and variables. If you define any class or method or variable as a final, what does that means? It cannot be modified further. That is a final version. That is a final method. That is a final class, or that is a final variable. If you declare final as a variable, that is a constant. If you use final keyword with variable, that becomes a constant. Are you clear? And if I use final keyword for the method, that method cannot be modified. That means that method cannot be overridden. It's not possible anymore. If I declare a class as a final, that final class cannot be inherited. We cannot do anything. Are you clear? That is called final. And similarly abstract. What is abstract? The abstract keyword can be defined with classes and methods. What is the meaning of this abstract? Generally, when we use this abstract keyword, see, when you are declaring some methods, inside the class without implementing, without defining, that means inside the class, just you will be declaring a method, but you are not defining that method. You will not be defining that method implementation, but only declaration you are going to do. So in such case, that method should be defined as abstract. That means you are defining that these are all the methods should be defined inside this class, but you are not defining how that method should work. That will not be defined here. You are declaring that method name just simply. but you are not defining that method. So in such scenario, that method should be declared as abstract method. Suppose if there is any class with few abstract methods, then that class should be declared as abstract, because inside that class all methods are not defined completely. There are some methods without definition, only declarations. So in such scenario, that class should be declared as abstract. Are you clear? That means if there is any class with a few abstract methods, then definitely that class should be declared as abstract. And what is a static keyword? Static keyword is used with methods and variables, not with classes. If you declare static method or static variable, what will happen? That method or variable can be accessed before creating an object. That is the main important point about static keyword. Okay, and after that we discussed about inner classes. Inner class means a class inside another class. A class can be defined within another class, that is called inner class. Okay, up to here we completed the discussion of core Java concepts. Now today we will complete this inheritance. What is the inheritance concept? Okay, now okay, first let us discuss this inheritance concept. Okay, then we'll go to the programming. What is the inheritance? What is inheritance? Inheritance means, what is the meaning of inheritance? Let us see what is the meaning of inheritance simply. English. Heritage. That means getting something from our predecessor. That is called inheritance, right? Inheritance means getting something from our predecessors. That means from our grandparents or parents or something like that. That is called inheritance, right? So this is the same concept we have in Java. What is the inheritance concept? See, for example, in Java, how we are defining program? As a class. So let us define. So this is one class. Okay, this is a class 1. It is a class 1. So inside this class 1, inside this class 1, inside this class 1, let us assume that I have defined some variables and methods. Okay, I have declared some variables x, y, z, and I defined some methods m1, and these are the methods. Okay, method 2, and these are the methods. So 3 methods I define. So this class 1 has, inside class 1 we defined 3 variables and 3 methods. See, what is a class? Class is nothing but a collection of variables and methods. Now we can inherit this class into subclass. So here what I will do, I will create one more class, class 2. It is class 2. Class 2. This class 2 can inheritance from this class 1. This class 2 is derived from class 1, like that we can say. We can derive one new class 2 from this class 1. That is called inheritance. What will happen if I derive new class from class 1? Say that. Are you clear? So what is happening here? This class 2 is extension of class 1. How we used to inherit the classes? Like this, by writing the statements. See, the inheritance statements will be written like this. See, class 2 class 2 extends class 1, extends class 1. So this is a statement. This statement, what it is doing? It is deriving class 2 from class 1. It is a statement in Java we use for inheritance, extends. That means the class 2 is nothing but an extension of class 1. That means inside class 2 we can access all the instance variables and methods which are defined in class 1 automatically by default. Inside this class 2 we can access all these 3 variables and all these 3 methods by default. That means it is automatically getting all variables and methods which are defined in the parent class. This is the parent class and this is a child class, but it is not the parent and child. In Java it is called superclass and it is called subclass. Are you clear? This is a superclass. It is called superclass. It is a superclass. And this is a subclass. It is called subclass. Are you clear? This is a superclass and it is called subclass. The parent class is called superclass and the child class which is derived from the parent class is called subclass in Java. So this subclass can access all the methods and instance variables from its parent class or from its superclass. How to inherit that subclass from superclass? This is a statement we use. Are you clear? Similarly, we can inherit one more class from the same class. That means we can derive multiple classes from one class. So we can derive one more class from the same class. It is called class 3. Class 3. It is subclass. Are you clear? So this is another subclass. So again we should write same kind of statement. It extends class 3 extends class 1. So here class 2, class 3 are two subclasses which are derived from class 1 superclass. See now inside class 1 what will be defined generally? The common methods and variables will be defined in the superclass. And these common methods and variables will be shared by all the subclasses. And these common methods and variables can be accessed by all subclasses. And apart from these superclass variables and methods, and each subclass can add its own methods and its own variables. So inside this class 2, we can add some its own methods and its own variables. For example, I am adding a comma b, two variables here, and I am adding method 4, m4, one new method, and inside this class 3, I am adding some variables, m comma n variables, and I am adding a method 5. See here, now in class 2, we added some more new variables, a comma b, and one more new method, m4. So now inside class 2, what all the methods are accessible? In class 2, we can access m1, m2, m3, and m4 methods. And similarly, inside class 2, what are the variables we can access? X, Y, Z, A, and B. And similarly, from class 3, what are all the methods we can access? M1, M2, M3, and M5, but not M4. M5 and M1, M2, M3 can be accessed here. And similarly, the access variables X, Y, Z, and Mn can be accessed from class 3. Are you clear? Again, from this class 2, we can derive another class. It is also possible. Okay, let me reduce the size. So it is possible to derive from class to another class. Okay, let me copy this. So here I am deriving one more class 4 from class 2, and here I will declare some other different variable r and m6 variable, m6 method. Are you clear? Now class 4 is a subclass and class 2 is a superclass for class 4. Understand? Class 2 is the superclass for class 4. Okay, now inside class 4, what are all the methods we can access? Tell me. What are all the methods we can access inside class 4? We can access M1, M2, M3, M4, and M6. All these methods can be accessible in class 4. And similarly, variables X, Y, Z, A, B, and R. All these variables can be accessible in class 4. Understand? So like this, it is possible to define the inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Multi-level, it is called multiple level inheritance. Okay, it is possible to define multi-level inheritance also in Java. Are you clear, guys? Any doubts in the inheritance concept? Inheritance means nothing but we will define some common methods and variables in the superclass, and these variables and methods can be shared by all its subclasses by using inheritance method concept. That means we can derive multiple subclasses from the superclass, and all these subclasses will share the same common methods and variables, and each subclass can add its own methods and variables to each subclass. Are you clear? Any doubts? Govind and Bala Raja.
No.
Yeah. Now let us see one example. with the program about inheritance?
Sir, class 2 and class 3, sir.
Yeah,
We
tell me,
gave
go on.
class 2 and class 3. Sir?
Yeah, how class 2 will access class 3?
Actually, there is no inheritance.
No, yes. We can't
Yeah,
access
that
the
is
class 3 method in class 2.
using public.
No, see what I'm telling. See, we cannot access directly. See, now inside class 2, we can access M1, M2, M3 methods directly. Understand? Similarly, we can't access class 3 method M5 directly in M2. But there is another way. What is that way? We can create an object of class 3 inside class 2. Understand? And then through that object, we can access M5. Are you getting my point? Go in. See, by using inheritance concept, what we are doing here, without creating class 1 object inside class 2, we can access M1, M2, M3 methods inside class 2. Understand? That is the benefit of inheritance. We no need to create any object here. We no need to create any object of class 1 inside class 2. Without creating class 1 object, directly we can access M1, M2, M3 methods inside class 2 because class 2 is a subclass of class 1. And similarly, in class 3 also we can access directly M1, M2, M3 methods because class 3 also is subclass of class 1. But we can't access class 3 method inside class 2 or vice versa. Directly it is not possible. But what is the alternative way? If I want to access M5 in class 2, how we can access that? Directly we cannot access, but I can define one object for this class 3 inside class 2. And through this object, I can access M5 method. Understand my point? Are you clear, Govin? Govin, are you clear or any doubt? I think so. He lost the connection. Okay. Okay, let us go to a program example. So we can say that this inheritance method, right? It's kind of reusing the reusing of same methods and variables. By inheritance, we are reusing that same methods across all the subclasses. Okay, let me define one new class. Let us define a box. For example, box class I'm declaring. Or let us define some. Or let us take some mobile class. I'm defining real time some simple example mobile. Inheritance example, right? Inheritance. Okay. Okay, see here I'm declaring one method class mobile. Mobile, and here I'm declaring, see mobile, tell me some common features of mobile, any mobile. See common features, I can say something display, string, string, display, or size, screen size, for example. Yeah, RAM. It is for screen size I'm declaring here. It is a double screen size, and not double. Okay, double. And RAM size, RAM size double. Okay. What else, ma? Just we can say simply. Okay, let me only two properties I define, and define some methods of mobile operations. What operations we can do? Uh, Operations, I can define some methods like void, uh, call. Okay, this is one method, and similarly define one more method, common method, message. Okay, message, this is the common method. These are the some common features and common methods we declared here. What is this? RAM. Method body. Yeah. Where is the method body? Oh, method body is not defined. That's why it is throwing error. We have to define some method, some statement. Let us define some statement here. System dot out dot print line. It is a call. And similarly, right here one more method, one more statement. It is a message. Message. Still, what is error? Insert. Where we have insert my. What is missing here? Okay, got it. I have to remove this. Still getting error. Insert to complete. Where we are missing insert? Void message. Okay, fine. This is one class. No, it is separate class, right? 1 second. It is separate class. It should be like this only. This is one class. This is separate class, two class, second class. Okay, we'll define here something system dot out dot println. It is a main method. Okay. Hey, what is the wrong man here? Still getting problem. Public class inheritance. Okay. Why syntax error is coming? I'm getting public class mobile.
And what was the package?
Hmm?
Package there mostly at the top.
What is the
I think no, at the top package was written. That is not a problem. Right?
no? I'm not getting what you are trying
No,
to.
sir. Package which was written at the top of the program. That is not a cause, right?
No. That is not the problem. No.
Um,
It is not allowing to define another class. Let me 1 second. Class. Enumerated body. Yeah. Second. Public class. No, we can define multiple classes, right? What is the problem in this one? Why is throwing error? Syntax error is throwing. Okay, got it. Small mistake. This brackets and all not required. Okay. For class, we should not use this brackets like a function, like a method. Generally, we used to define brackets only for methods. These statements, these braces making problem. Got it? These parentheses are making problem. If I remove this, class always should be defined like this without any parentheses. Understand? That is the problem. Double RAM size and double screen size. Okay, screen. Okay, see here, this is one class. Now, from this class, I will define a subclass. I will derive a subclass. See, for example, class. Let us take some. What is that? say that some tell me some mobile brand name, mobile name. Let us take something, iPhone 6s, right? Yeah, iPhone, not iPhone. Take any oh, Galaxies, for example, S5 is the class. Okay, Galaxy S5 extends mobile, extends mobile. See, this is the, like this we can define subclasses. See, Galaxy S5 is a separate class, new class. It is nothing but it is extension of mobile. See, inside this mobile, we defined some common properties and methods. Understand? And apart from these common properties, variables and methods, we can define or we can add new variables and new methods to this Galaxy S5. Understand? See here, I can define, we can add more features. So which may not be available in common mobile. In Galaxy S5, you may have so many features, right? Like camera, suppose camera. So camera pixels. What is a camera pixels? Next, similarly, next we can define what is that? Scanner. What is that scanner? Fingerprint scanner, right? Scanner may be there in S5, scanner feature. Okay, and similarly methods we can define. It is boolean scanner, yes or no I want to assign. And some methods we can define some new methods. Recording, what is that? 4K recording. I can define some 4K recording, record 4K videos. See, this feature may be available inside this Galaxy S5. Understand? And similarly, like this, some new method. See, this method is not available for any normal common mobiles. Understand? Camera may not be available in any common mobile. But for this Galaxy S5, these are the some additional features we have apart from common features or common methods and common features. So those additional features which are applicable to this Galaxy S5 can be added apart from this common features and methods. That means we are reusing. See, inside this Galaxy S5, you can access directly all these variables. See here, I'm see that here I am doing get. I'm defining one more method. Get features. I want to get all the features of this particular mobile. Then here I want to display all the features. What is the RAM size? What is the screen size? And then what is the camera? What is the scanner? Scanner is available or not? All the features I want to display, print. What features are available? So I can write here. So here, RAM size. What is the RAM size? RAM size means I should access a RAM variable. See, that RAM variable is accessible directly inside this Galaxy S5 class. Inside this Galaxy S5 class, RAM variable is not defined here. But still, we are able to access this RAM variable directly inside this subclass because this RAM variable is defined inside the superclass. So this RAM variable can be accessed directly without creating any object for this superclass. And similarly, define screen size. Screen size. It is a screen variable we are accessing. And similarly, define camera. Camera pixels. Okay. Next, scanner is available or not? Yes or no? like this. Clear? Similarly, we can access these methods directly inside this Galaxy S5 class. Understand? Clear? Like this we can do that inheritance. We can use inheritance. It is a recording, 4K recording, 4K recording, 4K recording. So now inside this inheritance class, inside this main class, now I can create a Galaxy S5 class object, and from here I can access RAM, screen, or CLAL, all those things we can access. See that inside here I'm going to create a Galaxy S5 object. Galaxy S5 GS5 is the variable name, equal to new Galaxy S5. Okay. Now from this I can access GS5 dot, what is that, get features. Get features. Are you clear? See that how we are accessing? It is a subclass. See, now I can create an object either for mobile. I can create one object. Now I am creating object for Galaxy S5, and from this Galaxy S5 object I can access all these methods, all these variables also, because by default all these variables and methods are accessible inside the subclass. No problem. Understand? See, now I can create one more object, mobile. For mobile I can create one more object, mobile MB equal to new mobile. Done. Now from this MB variable to this MB variable I can access, I can assign GS5. It is possible. See that. See, mobile is a mobile class variable, but still to this mobile class variable we can assign subclass object references. Understand the point? See, we define mobile class variable, and to this mobile class variable we can assign subclass object references. It is possible. Or I can define like this also. It is one way. See that. Another one I will define, and here I will create Galaxy S5 instead of mobile. It is also possible. See that. Variable is mobile class, but what object you are assigning to this mobile? Galaxy S5 object we are assigning. Understand? Now MB dot get features. See, look at that here. Get features method is not available here. Get features method is not available. Why get features method is not available? See, this mobile is defined as a mobile class. So inside mobile class there is no get features method. Understand? So that's why it is not accessible here. But from this GS5 variable we can access get features, because this GS5 variable is declared as a Galaxy S5 subclass. Understand the point here? See, MB. See, but from this MB you can access call or message methods. See, message method is accessible, because inside mobile we have a message method. Are you clear? See, something little, right? Working with variables, object variables for subclasses and superclass. We can assign subclass object to superclass object variable. Understand? But we cannot access sometimes all the methods of subclass from superclass object variable. Sometimes it is example. See, from this MB variable we can't access get features method, because inside MB there is no get features method available. This get features method is accessible only from GS5 variable. Understand? So now let us run this inheritance. Okay, see, RAM size, screen size, we have not assigned anything, correct? RAM screen size, we have not assigned any value. So by default it is taking some default value, default values it is taken, because these variables are instance variables. That's why it is assigning default value. Understand? So inside this one I want to assign, for example, assign RAM size is equal to some 3 GB, 3.0, and the screen equal to 5.0. Okay, and camera equal to some 13 pixels, scanner equal to true. It is there. Okay, so inside Galaxy S5 camera is 13 pixels, scanner is available, and what is the RAM size? 3 GB, screen size is 5 inches. So these are the features we assigned inside Galaxy S5. Now run it. So it is printing all the values. Got it? Any doubt, Govind and Bala, Raja? Inheritance concept, how to create subclasses and how to use subclass, how to call subclass methods, how to create objects for subclasses, for superclass. Superclass objects also can be defined. Here we are creating superclass object mobile. See, for example, it is one way. See, now if I do like this, mobile. Now inside here I am assigning mobile equal to GS5. Now can we access get features? Get features not there. See, still get features is not available. Look at that. Even though by assigning GS5 object to mobile variable, we are not able to access get feature, because get feature is not defined inside mobile, because basically this mobile variable is MB variable is mobile class type, but to this variable you can assign GS5 object also, because GS5 is nothing but a subclass. So that's why it is allowing to assign a subclass object to this MB variable, but we can't access this GS5 methods, all methods. Only the methods which are available inside mobile class can be accessible for this GS5 through this MB variable. You got the point, guys? Any doubts?
Sir, can you repeat the same point, sir? Couldn't get.
Yeah, see this
Why
one.
it's not allowing? Can you?
No, see here, mobile is declared as a mobile class, correct? MB variable is defined as a mobile class. Understand? And to this MB variable, we are assigning what object you are assigning? Galaxy S5 subclass object we are assigning, correct? Here, GS5 subclass object we are assigning. See, this MB variable is basically a mobile class, but still it is allowing to assign subclass object to this MB variable. So here we are assigning a subclass object to this MB, but still we are not able to access all the methods of GS5 through this MB variable. See, to this MB variable you assign GS5 object, that's fine, but still we are not able to access all the methods of GS5 subclass object. See, example.
Why, sir?
That's one more. See that MB dot, here we are not able to access get features method. Look at this. Is there any get features method displaying here? No, right? Are you clear?
Yes,
Get
yes,
features
sir.
method is not displaying, but If you look at that here, for GS5 variable, get features method is there, right?
Yes.
Hey, where is get features method? Ma? GS5 dot, see, get features method is accessible for GS5 variable, correct? So the same variable, same object, it is object variable. The same object variable is assigned to MB variable. What is this MB? What is this GS5? GS5 is a subclass object, understand? And MB is a superclass object, understand? So to superclass object, we can assign any subclass object, no problem. It is allowing to assign. There is no error we are getting here. We are able to assign GS5 object variable to MB variable because MB is a superclass variable, superclass object variable. GS5 is a subclass object variable. So we can assign subclass objects to superclass object variables, no problem at all. But what is the limitation here? By using this superclass object variable, we may not be able to access all the methods of subclasses. What methods we can access through this superclass object variables? What all the methods are defined inside the superclass? Only those methods can be accessible. See, inside this superclass, we have defined only call and message. Get features is not available inside superclass. The get features method is available inside Galaxy S5. So that is the reason this get features method is not accessible from MB variable. Look at that here. It is not displaying get features method. MB dot get features is not displayed. Understand? But get features method is accessible from GS5. See, for example, let me see. If I define here get features method inside superclass, okay? See, I will redefine a same method inside inside mobile. But here I'm displaying only RAM and screen. I'm not displaying scanner, camera and scanner. Understand? Inside mobile class, I defined get features method with only, remove this. Say this is my get features method inside mobile class. But inside my subclass Galaxy S5, we are displaying here 4 features inside the get features method: RAM, screen, camera and scanner. Understand? But inside mobile, we are displaying only 2 features, RAM and screen. Now look at that. How this one? Now look at this, guys. If I access here MB dot get features will be accessible now because get features method is available inside mobile class. Now what features it will display now? By running this statement, only RAM and screen will be printed. Are you clear? Now to this MB variable, now I am assigning GS5 variable. After this, I am calling get features method. Now tell me which method will be running, either this method or this method. By running this statement, which method will be running now? It will be running this method inside mobile class. At the time of running this statement, which method will execute? It will execute now this method inside Galaxy S5 class. See, look at that here, same statement we are using, mb.getFeatures, mb.getFeatures, and here it is calling this method, and here it is calling this method. It is called dynamic method dispatching in Java. This feature, it is called dynamic method dispatching. See, very simple. In this statement, what this variable refers? What this MB variable, which object it refers? This MB variable refers mobile object, mobile class object, correct? So it will call this mobile class method. But inside this statement, the same MB variable represents which object? Galaxy S5 subclass object. Because before this statement, we assigned here GS5 to MB. So the MB object now represents Galaxy S5 subclass object. Understand? So inside mobile class we have getFeatures method. Inside Galaxy S5 class we have getFeatures method. Now this statement will run this Galaxy S5 object method. Because at present currently this variable represents Galaxy S5 class. So it will call the method from that class. So just let me run. See, look at that. First one. This is a mobile method. Only RAM and sorry. Clear this. Where is this one? Yeah, this one. RAM and screen displayed from mobile method. Again RAM, screen, camera, scanner with values 3.0, 5, 13, true. These are displayed from Galaxy S5 class. It is a get features method, get features of Galaxy S5. It is get features of mobile. Are you clear? You understand this, Govind and Bala, this concept, how it is, how to use a subclass and superclass methods, how it will be executed in the execution. It is called dynamic method dispatching. That means dynamically the Java will check that what is the current object reference that variable is using, and accordingly it will execute the corresponding method at runtime. It is called dynamic method dispatching feature. Any doubts? Sorry, I have to increase this font size in this Eclipse, right? 1 second, I will do that. Where we can see this, preferences, font size, where we can increase. Editor. Okay. Hey, it's not good, right? Is it visible clearly now? Go in. Not good, right?
Yes, sir, but remove the bold, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now it's okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Just see that here. Once again, I will explain you in this inheritance class how we created the code. First, we defined a mobile class with the common features of mobile, with the RAM and screen as variables, and with the common methods of mobile, call, message, and get features. Okay. and I defined Galaxy S5 class subclass. I am creating here a subclass from this mobile class. How we are creating a subclass? Class Galaxy S5 extends mobile. So this class extension of this mobile class. That means in this Galaxy S5 class, we can be able to access all these variables and methods by default without creating object directly. And apart from these variables and methods, we can add few more new variables and methods in this Galaxy S5 class. So here I have added some additional variables, camera and scanner, and the same method I redefined. For common mobile, only two features will be there. For this Galaxy S5, I want to display more features. So we redefined the same method here. See that. This is called overridden. This concept. See, in this super class, we have method, get feature method. Correct? The same method we are redefining in the subclass. That means here this class definition will be override this class, this method definition. This method will override this method in the superclass method. So this feature is called overriding. That means the same method will be redefined, can be redefined in the subclass. The subclass method will override the superclass method always. Are you clear? This is called overriding feature in the inheritance. That means when you call this get features method from this object, it will run by default this method, not this method. Okay. So here I defined get features method and record 4K method. Some additional method, new method I have added here to Galaxy S5. And now in the main class, what we are doing, first I created Galaxy S5 object, and here I'm calling GS5 get features method. GS5 get features method. So here it will run directly this method. Correct, because this object represents directly Galaxy S5 subclass. So it will run directly this method. And next what we are doing, we are creating a mobile variable, MB variable, and to this mobile variable, from this mobile variable, I am running get features method. Now since this variable represents mobile superclass, and it will run this get features method. And after that what we are doing, to this mobile object variable, we are assigning a Galaxy S5 subclass object. It is possible. See, this variable is a mobile class. This variable is Galaxy S5 class. But still we are able to assign GS5 variable to MB variable, since MB is a mobile superclass variable, GS5 is a subclass variable. That is the reason it is allowing to assign GS5 to MB. After assigning GS5 variable to MB, now we are running again get features method from this MB variable. Now this MB variable represents Galaxy S5 subclass. So this get features method will run this method. Understand? Are you clear how it is working? Okay, Govind and Bala, please just practice this, and tomorrow at the same time we can have this next session. So next session we will continue. We will see that what is a super, how to use the super keyboard, and constructors, method overriding. Already we have seen this, and we already discussed this option also. Dynamic method dispatching, what is this one? And we will see that abstract classes, final other things in tomorrow's session. Any doubts, Bala and Govind?
No, sir. Current, as of
No,
now,
I
it,
Okay. Okay, Bala and Govind, tomorrow we'll join at 7:30. Okay, 7:38.
okay, sir.
okay, Vara.
Yeah. Thanks, Ma. I think so. By tomorrow we will finish this Java, and let us practice write some Java programs by Monday also, and then after that we'll start with the Selenium. Once we are comfortable with the Java programs, right, we'll go with start with the Selenium. We'll do some practice Java programming practice Monday also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That is recording session, sir. Where I can see it?
What, Govind?
Hello. This is the recording session, sir. This one recording. Where I can access this
Yeah,
one.
I will upload this today's session in our website. Okay.
Oh, same website, right?
Yeah, same website. I will
Hmm.
upload this file. Maybe it will take 1 hour
What is the name,
to
sir?
convert that file into uh, viewable format, and then I will upload it.
Yeah, what to identify you are giving the name today's data.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
how to
will give the
identify.
name right. Inheritance. Concept name itself. File name itself. Inheritance.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye.